Thank you for taking the time to take a look at SOX Lite. SOX Lite is a new tool. It's a very easy tool to use, and it's a small tool. It doesn't take a large footprint and doesn't take a lot of time to install or use. SOD analysis is not just for publicly traded companies. Many privately held companies want to follow the same rules or the same practices in identifying users that may have separation of duties, we'll say violations, I prefer exposures, and also who has access to privileged objects. SOX Lite comes with everything that you need. It comes with a list of privileged objects. And these objects, again, they are not SOD violations, but they are objects that can control how your system works, and if you make a change, right or wrong, it will impact the way your system works across the board. So you want to know who has access to privileged objects. And in the spreadsheet that comes with the product, it has a list of privileged objects, or two lists of them. One's called privileged objects, and the other one is called another list of privileged objects. You would want to set both of these up, and you can edit, add, and change all you want to be able to identify privileged objects. It also comes with a list of the top 10 SOD rules. And these top 10 rules, these are the things that external auditors look for SOD violations. Based on your organization, you can add more rules, but these are the top 10 that external auditors look for. And all this data comes in the form of a spreadsheet, and you can load it into this product. And we're going to take a look at the product and reposition the screen. So, under rule maintenance, we're going to take a look at a particular rule, SOD rule number 1, which is called deposit cash and bank recon. And the way this rule is set up is if you have access to the primary object and you have access to any of these secondary objects, and the objects are applications, but you can also have UBEs. But if you have add or change access to the primary object and any of the secondary objects, or access to the primary object and you can run these particular UBEs that do updates, you have an exposure for a violation. And we're going to take a look at how to look at this information. And in this example, this is actual client data. It's a small client, about 150 users. And we've already done this analysis. But let's say you've made some changes. And in this example, I've made changes to my security, and I want to redo this. You can focus on that first record, and then you can go to the end, focus on it, and just delete them all. There. So you delete all of the results for SOD rule number 1, and now you're ready to go in and rebuild that data. And then the third application, it's called the build details. And so you go in here and you put your environment. You want to look at rule number or rule type S, and then you want to do rule number 1. You put the 1 in there, field advance, and it'll collect data. Once it collects the data, then you click find, and it analyzes the data that it has found. Then you go back over to the analyze SOX data and say, show me what you found. And it found, second, go to the end, it found 62 records based on that rule. So, okay, based on that rule, I only want to look at violations. That's over here. I only want to look at violations. And a rule violation has a V in it. And in violations, we'll scroll to end, I got 6 violations. These 6 violations, I've got this sorted by user, but it's saying that for rule number 1, this user, Christina, has access, move around a little bit, has access to add or change in this program, can run this UBE and run this UBE. And the top one, and it's all in the same role where this violation occurs. So that's my exposure and that's my analysis. We have this. I'm going to take this out. And we've run all 10 rules. And it has extracted 359 records based on our SOD top 10. So there's 359 security records of users that can execute those applications and UBEs. And all of them are not violations. Move back over here to the beginning. The end means they, in this example, this user has access to these applications, but they don't have access to the primary applications. So I'll put a V in here. Show me, based on all of my SOD rules, what violations do I have. And it shows I have 16 violations. So it's interesting. It's a very quick and easy way to analyze, based on the top 10 SOD rules, what access you have. Or what access violations or exposures you have. We also run this for privileged objects. And in this client example, go to the end, I've got 188 users that have access to privileged objects. And let's just take a look at this one here, auto payment right reset, or auto payment groups. Those of you familiar with AP, these are the ones that can cut checks. And how many people can cut checks? Well, might be way too many in a small organization. I have 12 users that can create payment groups, and the next thing that comes after that, or in that process, is cutting the actual check. So these are privileged objects. They can also be, nope, got no SOD on that. So there's no SODs related to P04571. It's a simple tool, small set of programs. It's 3 applications, handful of business views, and it analyzes not just based on the role. It analyzes the user's access. If a user has 1 role or 30 roles, it looks at the access in every role that that user has to produce this information. This is a great product. Takes less than an hour to install, and in this particular client, around 150, 160 users. They got 62 roles and 17,000 security records. And to do the analysis on all the SODs and all of the privileged objects took less than 30 minutes. The product starts at $1,500, small price to pay for the information that it provides. Contact us at sectools.com. My name is Dave Biles, and thank you for taking your time to look at this product.